After my husband won the award, my long-lost best friend Linda texted me. Your Vincent is so handsome. I bet hordes of fresh-faced interns are throwing themselves at him. Want me to test his loyalty for you? On our anniversary, I pretended to go on a business trip to surprise Vincent. Instead, I found him tangled in bed with Linda. He froze in panic while Linda wrapped her naked arms around him, casually announcing, "I'm pregnant." I stumbled out and died in a car crash. When I reopened my eyes, I was back to the day Linda proposed her loyalty test. Perfect. I smiled. Cynthia. Congratulations. My phone screen lit up with Linda's perky voice. Can you believe Vincent won the International Sculpture Prize? He used to trail behind you in college. I finally understood I'd been reborn to the starting point of my previous tragedy. When I stayed silent, Linda continued. Did you see how he dressed for the ceremony? That man's gonna have hordes of starry-eyed interns chasing him. Including you? I sneered. She laughed awkwardly. I'm past that age. But seriously, with his rising fame, want me to help test his loyalty? Go ahead. My voice stayed steady. Knew you'd agree. I'll make a fake account to flirt with him and keep you updated. Can't wait. I smiled, remembering how the script played out last time. In my previous life, I'd died on our 8th anniversary. I'd flown home early with a Rolex Submariner costing 6 months' salary, only to find Linda straddling Vincent. Your baby, she'd said, kissing him to silence his protests. I'd fled into traffic, hearing the luxury car's tires screech and the driver's furious fuck, before darkness took me. Wait, isn't today Vincent's birthday? Linda's question snapped me back. Your memory's impressive. My voice dripped acid now. She rushed to explain. It's just 2 days before Mike's birthday. Referring to her husband Mike. The same Mike she'd cheated with in my original timeline. Then have a nice birthday celebration. I'll test him again in a couple of days to avoid ruining the mood. You're so sure Vincent would take the bait? I joked half-heartedly. Not at all. Linda's signature fake laughter crackled through the phone. Just being cautious in case of contingencies. That evening, Vincent indeed returned late. The client was particularly demanding. He emerged from the shower reeking of alcohol. In my past life, I'd forced myself into lingerie waiting on the bed as a surprise. He'd merely blinked before murmuring, "Too tired tonight. Rain check?" Back then I'd believed his exhaustion from business dinners, blushing as I changed into pajamas. Now I understood his joy never resided with me. Expensive cake? What a waste. He watched me dump the melted ice cream cake into the trash before wordlessly sitting on the bed. What's wrong? Cynthia? Mad? Vincent's fingers trailed from my cheek down my neckline. I intercepted his wandering hand. Just tired tonight. Rain check? In my previous life, I'd only discovered after marriage that Vincent and Linda had year-long flirtations during freshman year. While countless suitors pursued me, Vincent won over my dorm mates with boba tea and snacks. Gradually, he grew closer to Linda than me. Post-wedding, I accidentally found their cheek-to-cheek photos. Vincent joked. Had to charm your best friend to court you. Charm her how? Would she have been the bride if I rejected you? He dramatically knelt, swearing he never fantasized about Linda. I trusted them completely, especially after Linda married Mike, the wealthy heir. While proclaiming no paupers allowed, I never imagined she'd eye Vincent, then an obscure designer. But I was wrong. The world shifts. 8 years later, Mike's family went bankrupt while Vincent ascended the international sculpture stage. When fortune finally smiled on me, they conspired to erase me. Not happening. Days later, Linda texted, got Vincent's WeChat. Created fake account as his junior colleague. Girl, your hubby's smooth, look. Zero suspicion. The screenshots showed Vincent mechanically answering professional queries without warmth. Last time. This reassured me of his loyalty despite his increasingly erratic schedule. I never imagined those overtime nights meant sweating between Linda's sheets. She was right, he acted impeccably. Acted through her entire pregnancy. I remembered every fertility-related argument where Vincent blamed my defective body. Though medical tests showed nothing, I publicly claimed responsibility to preserve his pride. Cynthia quietly begged Vincent to get checked too. After pleading for nearly a year, Vincent reluctantly went to the hospital. Later, riding high on winning an international award, he completely forgot about it. Now, I stared at the newly arrived medical report and smirked. Just like in my previous life, the fertility test confirmed Vincent's azoospermia. Our 8 childless years weren't due to my infertility, but his sterility. Time to give them an anniversary surprise. Our anniversary arrived. This time, I skipped the exhausting business trip and waited at a neighborhood cafe. As dusk fell, I monitored our smart door lock. Vincent had taken the day off. He ordered takeout, then accidentally positioned the delivery bag to block the camera. Soon, stiletto clicks echoed through the surveillance feed. The door slammed. Linda had arrived. My grip tightened around my phone. Bitter coffee burned my tongue. Before I could steady my breathing, my phone rang. Having fun in Haikou, babe? Vincent's voice carried fake melancholy. Where are you gallivanting now? Warmer than back home, I recited coolly. Last life. I'd stood shivering at an airport baggage claim during this call, frostbite numbing my fingers while warmth flooded my heart. Now, only acid churned in my stomach. He prattled about trivialities before demanding, let's video chat. Meeting colleagues for dinner. I repeated my old excuse. Like before, Vincent swallowed the lie. The moment he hung up, our bedroom hidden camera lit up with movement. I forced myself to watch. Linda shrugged off her cashmere coat, crimson silk nightgown clinging to her curves. Vincent's hands found her waist. They collapsed onto our marital bed. Bile rose in my throat. My husband of 8 years and my college roommate of 12 years redding between our Egyptian cotton sheets. Goddamn disgusting. Linda's breathy moans leaked through my Bluetooth earbuds. I nearly ripped them out when Vincent knocked over the nightstand carving. The wooden thud suggested multiple fractures. Your trinket broke. Linda murmured against his collarbone. Who needs wood when I've got you? Vincent growled, crushing their mouths together. I slammed the laptop shut. A waiter approached my trembling form. Ma'am? Can we assist you? I suddenly realized tears were streaming down my face. I wiped them away hastily and gestured to the barista. Another iced Americano, please. That wooden carving was the first gift Vincent ever gave me. We were still in college back then. The wood carving course was the most dreaded class among all sculpture majors. Only Vincent reveled in it. Linda once joked he perfectly embodied the stereotype that handsome guys aren't bright, after all. Good-looking art school students were rare enough without choosing such an unpromising career path. On my 20th birthday, he presented me with a wooden sculpture he'd spent the entire semester perfecting, the profile of a young woman. He named it Spring. Every chisel stroke was you, Vincent had declared, kneeling with the artwork. You are my springtime. Truthfully, Vincent had little talent for sculpture, but he possessed a genius for sweet talk. Back then, I thought I'd found life's greatest treasure. Never imagined it'd become worthless in mere 8 years. The surveillance footage showed Vincent and Linda entangled passionately. I drained my coffee and strode through the early winter chill in stilettos, pausing at our doorstep. My phone rang inopportunely inside. It was me calling Vincent from my other device. Hey husband, I murmured, watching through the security app as Vincent answered with evident effort to suppress his labored breathing. What's up? Honey? 10 seconds. I stated. What now? His impatience bled through after 10 rings of unexplained silence. Smiling coldly, I announced. In 10 seconds. I'll be standing before you. The electronic chirp of the fingerprint lock echoed through his phone. On screen, Vincent practically levitated from the bed. 10 seconds to hide her. I commanded. Deliberately loud. 1, 2, 3. My heels clicked leisurely from foyer to bedroom doorway. 4, 5, 6. I tossed my phone onto the couch, blaring our wedding march. 7, 8, 9. Muffled scrambling footsteps answered. 10. I threw open the door. Surprise! The stench of sex hung thick. Vincent sat naked and sweating on rumpled sheets. Darling. What, why, forget what day this is. His face froze momentarily before shifting to calculated charm. Of course not. Can't believe it's been 8 years already. My gaze swept the room, lingering on the walk-in closet. He sprang up, blocking my view. You flew back just for this? I'm touched. Cynthia. Really? I nodded at the tissue-strewn floor, all pretense of warmth vanishing. Was I interrupting? His Adam's apple bobbed violently. Vincent. Which video did you watch this time? I pretended to pout. You watch other girls when I'm not around? Vincent seemed to exhale in relief. None could compare to my beautiful wife. I just needed something to distract me from missing you. I smiled coyly. Let me change into something nice for our anniversary. As I turned toward the walk-in closet, Vincent grabbed me. Wait. Cynthia. Why don't you shower first? I'll pick your outfit. That'll take forever. I pushed him away. Our cake delivery's arriving. It'll melt if we don't eat it now. When I tried to leave, his grip tightened on my wrist. Honey. I forgot to get the cake. I blurted out, slipping into shoes under his stunned gaze. Wait for me, Vincent. I'll be right back. The moment I left, I activated the surveillance feed on my burner phone. Linda came scrambling out of our closet half-dressed. Vincent snapped impatiently, hurry up. Did she suspect anything? Linda fumbled with her blouse buttons. How should I know? Vincent's voice cracked with frustration. Take the stairs. Don't risk the elevator. Relax. I'm not stupid. The bitter cold made Linda's layered clothing problematic. Watching this drama unfold, I wandered absently toward the gated community entrance. Tires screeched. My blood froze. This was exactly when it happened last life, the sports car mounting the curb, crushing me against the guardrail. Now a young family stood precisely where I'd died. The red Ferrari's roar grew deafening. Without thinking, I snatched the toddler from his mother's hand and sprinted towards safety. The parents' shouts merged with metallic shrieks as the car plowed through their original position, smashing into flower beds. Fucking hell! The driver stumbled out reeking of alcohol. Mike. Linda's trust fund husband. So he was my killer in the previous timeline. The rescued child's father, a mountain of muscle, advanced toward the wreck with clenched fists. You blind drunk bastard. Call the police. His wife restrained him while eyeing me suspiciously. I sensed danger. I explained. No time to explain. After their tearful gratitude, I left them dealing with Mike. Time to confront his cheating wife. Reopening the surveillance app outside our building, I watched Linda finally emerge from the stairwell, her hurried escape captured in grainy footage. In less than 10 minutes, Linda was fully dressed. Vincent sneaked her out like a thief, even remembering to cover the smart lock's camera beforehand. Timing it perfectly, I entered the stairwell. Soon, the click of high heels echoed through the empty space. I knew Linda was descending from the 8th floor, fast and frantic. I leisurely climbed the steps. Linda? We collided at the 3rd floor landing. Her face hid behind oversized sunglasses, a medical mask, and a crimson scarf wrapped around her head. Still, I recognized her instantly. Darling. I feigned confusion. What brings you here? The air froze. Linda's knuckles whitened around the stair rail. Looking for me? I casually grasped her icy hand. You should have told me. Or, I tilted my head. Were you visiting Vincent? Why yeah. Linda forced a smile. You were traveling. So I did a surprise check. Making sure your husband behaves. Did he? Her hand trembled slightly before squeezing back. Of course. She laughed nervously. I'm heading back now. Just joking. I maintained my smile. Why take the stairs? Must be exhausting. New Year's resolution. She patted her waist. Gonna shock you with my beach body come spring. You're already perfect. I touched her arm. Oh. I think I saw your husband at the gate earlier. Linda ripped off her sunglasses. Mike? What's he doing here? Not sure. His car hit the flower bed. Reeked of alcohol when he got out. Might have called the cops. She bolted downstairs. Gotta check. Talk later. Her hurried footsteps faded. I strolled home. Vincent sat smoking on the couch. Back so soon. Honey? He stubbed out his cigarette. Where's the cake? Forgot my phone. I pointed to the device playing music on the sofa. He hastily handed it over. Which bakery? I'll get it. Texting him the address. I casually mentioned. Ran into Linda upstairs. Vincent paused mid-shoelace tying. Oh. Said she's keeping tabs for me. I chuckled. Didn't she visit you? She just stopped by briefly. He avoided my eyes. Looked pale though. Maybe pregnant again? In my past life, Linda had claimed her pregnancy was Vincent's child. Blinded by betrayal. I'd never questioned the impossibility Vincent's sterility proved she either faked it or needed a patsy. Her motives were never love. But it wasn't time yet. Vincent's face twitched before he turned to open the door. She didn't mention it. Her daughter's over 1 now. Normal to try again. Maybe we should try too? I forced a coy smile. Fighting nausea. Later. After locking my bedroom door and inserting earplugs. I finally relaxed. Days later. I approached Linda. How's Mike? Heard the police came? 5 days in jail. She sighed wearily. $2,000 fine. License revoked. That's harsh. I thought just points. Not his first offense. She changed subjects. Vincent's studio needs an assistant? How? Creating a fake account to flirt with him still didn't reveal his true colors? He just ignored me. Linda sent several WeChat chat screenshots while complaining. All conversations started with her greetings and ended with Vincent's silence. Acting quite the saint. I chuckled. Maybe it's good you're becoming his assistant. At least I can trust you. But doesn't your husband dote on you? He's okay with you experiencing life like this? Linda paused briefly. Being a housewife is suffocating. Even Mandy's taken care of by my mom. I feel useless. Mandy was Linda and Mike's daughter, whom I'd only seen once at her 100-day celebration. After that, Linda gradually distanced herself. In my past life, I'd assumed motherhood consumed her until I found her in Vincent's bed. Clearly, their rekindled affair had begun much earlier. Now she couldn't wait to openly claim her place beside him. Surprisingly, Vincent rejected Linda's assistant proposal. Honey, you know my studio's workload. The overtime would overwhelm her. Then make her work less. I smiled sweetly. Unless you've got another favorite junior in mind? Vincent immediately kissed my cheek. My favorite's right here. I pushed him away, hiding disgust. I'm not becoming your workhorse. You'd let your best friend take the bullet? I batted my lashes. If she's determined to jump, who am I to stop her? A week later, Linda started at Vincent's studio. He came home increasingly late. Whenever I pretended concern, he'd invent elaborate excuses before ending with "Ask Linda if you don't believe me." Meanwhile, Linda swore over calls, "I'll guard him like a hawk. No juniors or sugar mommies will get near your husband. Not even close enough to breathe his air." I added, "Relax, sweetie." Linda's voice turned smug. "After all those tests I ran on him? Trust me, he's loyal." I smiled silently. 1 month later, Vincent called breathlessly during work hours. "Baby, just confirmed with Mr. Lee, the nomination's locked in." He meant the annual Sculpture Designer Award, a prestigious honor typically given to industry veterans. At 30, even being shortlisted marked unprecedented recognition. "Really? But your submission piece, I'd already activated call recording." "Playing dumb?" Vincent laughed. "Still claiming me and myself?" That sculpture had won international acclaim under Vincent's name. Nobody knew I'd designed it during endless sleepless nights, surrendering credit after his pathetic "I'm useless without you, babe" routine. Now I recognized the same manipulative script he'd used with Linda. "Of course it's yours. My genius wife created this masterpiece." Vincent oozed. I forced a giggle. "Better start worshipping me then." After more nauseating flattery, he circled back, "Don't wait up tonight, studio celebration." "Not inviting me?" I feigned hurt. "Why, you hate smoky bars." He stammered. "And the drinking." "Relax. I'd rather avoid your stinky boys club anyway." For once, I meant it. The next morning, I collected Vincent's medical report from the hospital. Vincent Wilson was brimming with confidence in his own health. In his eyes, getting his sperm motility checked at the hospital was utterly unnecessary and downright embarrassing. He hadn't even brought his insurance card that day. The contact information left on the self-pay hospital registration card was all mine. Naturally, I became the one who received the digital report and collected the physical copy. Vincent had long since forgotten about this entire matter. This worked in my favor. I retrieved the report without hesitation and was about to leave when a familiar voice called out, "Cynthia? Anna?" I turned to see Anna Taylor, Linda Green's mother. During college, I'd frequently visited Linda's house. When my parents disapproved of my relationship with Vincent, I'd even stubbornly stayed at her place for half a summer. The toddler in her arms must be Linda's daughter Mandy. Clutching a lollipop, Mandy stared at me shyly. "Long time no see, Anna." I reached to pat Mandy's head. "She's grown so much." "Here for a checkup?" Anna sighed softly. "Just a cold. Her mother had client dinners last night and only came home this morning. Passed out immediately. I brought the little one in." This timeline mirrored Vincent's exactly. "Linda's been swamped with work lately. Must be tough for you." I made small talk. "Truthfully, I'm not much help." Anna's voice lowered. "Linda's struggling. The medical bills for Mandy's condition keep piling up. And that good-for-nothing son-in-law Mike." Mandy kept gazing at me, her energy seemingly unaffected. When I opened my mouth to ask about Mandy's illness, Vincent's call interrupted. "Cynthia, why did you change our joint account password?" He'd always known my banking credentials. After my rebirth, I'd immediately reset everything and locked most savings in fixed-term investments. I'd already lost the man. The money stayed mine. Short on cash? I hurriedly bid Anna farewell and hailed a cab. "Emergency," Vincent admitted shamelessly. "That project still hasn't paid the final installment. And year-end entertaining costs. $5,000? Please?" I sent him a screenshot showing $300 remaining. "That's all. The rest is in non-withdrawable investments. I plan to surprise you with it before New Year's." "Honey. Investments? Cynthia. Have you been scammed?" Panic edged his voice. My explanation about certified bank products only fueled his frustration. You idiot! Locking away hundreds of thousands? The call ended abruptly when he realized no money would come. Ah, the reigning champion of emotional whiplash. I knew exactly why he needed cash. Earlier that morning, after Vincent collapsed into drunken slumber, I'd unlocked his phone. Though meticulously wiped of messages with Linda and her alternate accounts, his payment history told the story. $100,000 transferred to Linda this month alone, including $50,000 on our anniversary. Thus, Vincent's image shifted in my mind from unfaithful husband to high-rolling client. The real shock was Linda herself. Once obsessed with maintaining appearances as a Lamborghini-riding socialite. Even after her in-law's bankruptcy, what desperation drove her to Vincent's bed? Our paths crossed again at an industry cocktail party. Draped in burgundy satin, Linda stood beside Vincent, their silhouettes intertwining like vintage wine and its decanter. An unfamiliar industry peer approached with praise. "Why haven't you brought your wife sooner? You two are the perfect match." Strangers around us chimed in agreement. Vincent's gaze slid past me as he laughed over his whiskey, making no effort to correct them. "Vincent, you're turning 30 this year?" The man's wrinkled face creased deeper. "Time to start a family." Vincent glanced at Linda, smirking. "Next year for sure." "Oh, does that mean there's news to share?" "You misunderstand, Mr. Zhang," Linda called over to me. "I'm Linda Green, Mr. Wilson's executive assistant." "Cynthia, why are you hiding in the corner?" "Mr. Zhang specifically asked to meet you." I swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat. Long time no see. After exchanging pleasantries with the executive, I slipped into the restroom. The door swung open as I reached for my lipstick. Linda's smile turned brittle upon seeing me. "About earlier, I never meant. I'd be furious if it were anyone else." I cut her off. "But it's you, Linda." She linked arms with me conspiratorially. "You're not upset, are you, babe?" "I ran into Anna and Mandy at the hospital last week." Linda's smile froze. "I was swamped that day. Anna mentioned Mandy's been ill." Before Linda could respond, Vincent's voice blared from her phone. "Where are you? The Fangs want to discuss the partnership. Hurry. Seems Vincent can't survive a minute without you." I watched her flush crimson. "Run along, sweetheart." At the annual Sculpture Design Awards Gala in Shanghai, Vincent sat front row with Linda, obsessively checking the acceptance speech he'd memorized for days. He'd mortgaged everything to flood social media with PR teams portraying himself as some wunderkind, parading Linda at every event as his creative muse. Clueless netizens gushed about their match made in heaven. My parents bombarded me with panicked calls after seeing tabloid photos. "Are you divorcing? If we do, I'll be the one dumping him." I calmed them before posting the livestream link on social media. When the presenter finally croaked Vincent Wilson, cameras captured Linda's triumphant smirk. The crowd roared as Vincent bounded on stage. "Thank you to the committee." He trembled with manufactured emotion. "And to my wife Cynthia for her unwavering." The microphone screeched. Projectors suddenly displayed original design blueprints with my watermark, alongside our text exchanges. "CYN. Finished the draft for Duality yet? CYN. Final version locked? Submitting now. Babe. Our work won. All your genius." The auditorium erupted as his own voice boomed from speakers every fawning call where he'd admitted the truth. The screen was flooded with damning evidence. The venue erupted into chaos. Vincent turned pale, his crystal trophy shattering on the floor. I could already imagine the live chat exploding. "Vincent." I rose gracefully, walking toward the stage center. "Whose trophy is this really?" Media members finally snapped into action, swarming forward like vultures. Camera flashes illuminated Vincent's stunned expression. Why? Honey. Why? He choked out. Honey? I sneered. Open your eyes. Who's your honey? Compromising footage of Vincent and Linda suddenly dominated the screens. Look at this and tell me who your wife is. Both the physical crowd and virtual viewers went nuclear. Isn't that his assistant? The bombshell intern? They've been screwing around. Homewrecker and cheating scum. Vincent collapsed under the onslaught of condemnation. My gaze met Linda's through the mob of reporters surrounding her. Tears streaked her face. Pathetic. The most handsome sculptor of the year scandal trended globally within hours. Vincent's reputation imploded from celebrated artist to plagiarizing adulterer. Sponsors terminated contracts and sued for damages. His career lay in ruins. Linda's carefully curated social media persona crumbled as thousands mocked her #RichGirl aesthetic. She eventually deleted all accounts under relentless cyberbullying. When I served divorce papers at his abandoned studio, Linda hovered nearby. Blueprints lay scattered like fallen leaves. Vincent grabbed my wrist desperately. Near tears. Honey. I was wrong. Forgive me this once. I pried his fingers off one by one. The courthouse opens Monday. Be there. Cynthia. Don't do this. He begged. I've lost everything except you. Still have my best friend. Don't you? I turned to Linda. Frozen mid-escape. Right. Linda? Vincent's eyes lit with sudden hope. This is your fault too. Cynthia. If you weren't infertile. Linda panicked. Cynthia. You said we could test his loyalty. My idea? I laughed coldly. Still blaming everyone but yourself? You wanted faithful marriage and public adoration. Creative freedom and legacy children. For a mediocre man. That's quite the fantasy. Not fantasy. Vincent screamed. Linda's pregnant. My son. Congratulations. I scattered medical reports across the floor. A miracle baby from someone with azoospermia. Vincent stared at the documents. Trembling. Impossible. Linda stammered. Lab mix-up. I'm not. The cheating sculptor collapsed. Broken. As truth settled like marble dust. Cynthia. Don't go, the clack of high heels echoed across marble floors. I strode through the doorway without looking back. See you Monday. That weekend. I returned home to pack. Years ago when my parents and brother immigrated to Australia. I'd stayed behind for Vincent. Now nothing tied me to this place. I'd resigned from my university lectureship. Sold the fully paid condo I owned before marriage. And booked a one-way ticket. My parents urged me to reconcile with Vincent. Over a decade together isn't something you throw away. Mom pleaded. My brother snorted. Screw that. Get your ass divorced and come here. We've got a major project demanding your expertise. Drive a hard bargain. I texted back. Your little sister's a social media star now. As I hit send, my eyes caught the wooden sculpture displayed in the glass cabinet Vincent's spring piece. The mended artwork sat there innocently, its cracks meticulously glued. After staring at it for 3 full minutes, I tossed it into the trash. Dragging my suitcase toward the hotel, I encountered Linda in the courtyard gardens. At high noon, she hobbled toward me clutching Mandy, her face drawn with exhaustion. Vincent's gone and I sold the property. You'll need new hookup spots. I kept my tone measured for Mandy's sake. Cynthia. I'm renting next door now. Linda's words hit like a gut punch. The familiar location, he prefers it. Don't misunderstand. She rushed to explain. This has nothing to do with him. The children's hospital's right across the street. Mandy's enormous eyes studied me curiously. Is her cold still lingering? I softened despite myself. Linda gnawed her lip. Trembling. I'm sorry. Cynthia. Everything with Vincent, the fake pregnancy. The affair, it was about money. Mandy's an SMA child. She explained spinal muscular atrophy. The genetic death sentence. Mandy had shown symptoms at 6 months SMA type 1, where most don't survive past 2. The new miracle drug cost $100,000 per dose. For injections already administered, with lifelong treatments every 4 months. After marrying Mike, I never worked. When his parents died and the business collapsed, Linda's tears splashed onto Mandy's cheeks. Even the treatment money came from selling my jewelry. Then I saw Vincent's $200,000 design award in the news. Why not ask me? My bitter laugh scraped raw. Why ghost me after Mandy's 100-day celebration? We were never friends. Were we? Just your pathetic ego trip. Because of Mike. Her whisper cracked. He started asking about you. That man, he takes what he wants. I couldn't let him near you. Couldn't admit I envied your life while I drowned in medical bills and a drunk husband. Your sob story changes nothing. I turned away, only to collide with Vincent rushing toward us. Cynthia! I was wrong. Completely wrong. He grabbed my arm with familiar platitudes. Give me one more chance. I shook him off. If Linda's betrayal had twisted logic, his was simple lust. Not worth another second. As I dialed 911, a bleached blonde youth came barreling into the courtyard. Fuck. You slut. Cheating in broad daylight. Mike? Linda's voice trembled with fear. The intruder was none other than her husband. Mike Smith, the same man who'd killed me in a drunk driving accident in my past life. Didn't I beat you enough yesterday? Fuck. Still haven't learned your lesson? Knew you'd come see your goddamn lover. Mike had come to catch them in the act. The scandal from the awards ceremony had gone viral. Clearly, Mike had discovered he'd been cuckolded. Linda tried to explain Mike. I rented this place because the hospital's nearby. Mandy's next treatment my ass. Where's the $700K? Huh? Where's the fucking money? Mike suddenly turned to Vincent. You want this whore? Give me $1 million. And we're square. That's Mandy's life savings. Linda clutched Amanda tighter. Voice breaking. Life savings? Bullshit. Mike pulled out a kitchen knife. 2 worthless bitches. I want my money today, or I'll bleed you dry. Mike. Are you high again? We're in public. Not at home. Linda pleaded desperately. Let's talk about this at home. Please? Cynthia froze. Mike was on drugs? No wonder he'd burned through their savings so fast. Mike lunged at Linda with the knife. You're insane. Vincent rushed to block him. Linda stumbled while fleeing with Mandy. Falling hard. The toddler wailed as she tumbled from Linda's arms. Cynthia dropped her luggage and scooped up Mandy. Across the lawn, Mike's blade sank into Vincent's abdomen. Blood pooled on the grass as Vincent collapsed. Both women stood paralyzed. Help! Murder! Help! Linda's scream shattered the stillness. Mike charged at her. Knife raised, you fucking slut. Mandy! Run! Linda shrieked from the ground. Cynthia understood, she had to get the child out. Clutching Mandy, she sprinted toward the security booth, screaming for help. Linda's agonized cries followed. The neighborhood suddenly felt endless. The gate impossibly distant. Mike, now blood-crazed, abandoned Linda's motionless form to chase Cynthia. Mandy's weight slowed her. His footsteps closed in until a muscular man tackled Mike from the side. A baseball bat cracked across Mike's spine, dropping him. Drugged out of his mind. The rescuer spat, turning to Cynthia. You okay, ma'am? She recognized him, the father she'd saved from Mike's drunk driving rampage on her anniversary. Karma's wheel had turned. Vincent and Linda succumbed to their injuries that night. Mike received the death penalty. At their graveside, Cynthia burned joss paper on execution day. Linda's mother Anna passed soon after. In January 2022, SMA medication dropped from $700K to $30K per dose under national healthcare. That same year, 18-month-old Mandy was adopted by an educated couple who'd lost their daughter, leaving the city of her tragic birth behind. Later, the international project I worked on won a major award, standing under the spotlight like Vincent once did. I thanked many people in my speech, except him. Linda wasn't mentioned either. Those traces of the past were fading. On the night of the award ceremony, I dreamed of my student days. Linda grabbed my hand excitedly, saying, "Come on, sis. Let's treat you to something good." That's when I first saw Vincent. He stood on the basketball court, radiant as the midday sun. I teased Linda, crushing on him. He's kinda mid. Not even close to that high school heartthrob who chased you back then. Linda rolled her eyes. "Miss Priss, look around. In this monastery of ours, any decent-looking guy is a miracle." I chuckled awkwardly. Fair point. Cheers erupted from the crowd as we turned to see Vincent score with effortless grace. Not bad, I conceded. At that exact moment, Vincent turned his head. His gaze lingered on me, those piercing eyes silently challenging my lukewarm assessment. My heart skipped a beat. The sky stretched endlessly above us, clouds drifting through the eternal summer afternoon. We stood suspended in that golden hour, the very best time of our lives.